Hi, I'm Michelle Coyle with Fanboy Nation, and today I am sitting here with Shannon Kook, actor from The Conjuring, Degrassi, Carmilla Season 2, as well as the upcoming film Dark Places, which will be coming out soon in theaters, August 8th. You can watch it now on DirecTV, which is super exciting. And I get to sit down and have a little chat with him over coffee. So, you're in LA just for a few days, down from Canada, right? Mm-hmm. And how do you like it here?
Well, I brought the rain with me.
I know.
I was actually surprised when I landed and the weather was better in Toronto than it is in LA, because that's never the case.
Right.
But it's warmed up now, and LA has always got such a great vibe, so I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, good. And then, so when you moved to Canada, you went to the National Theatre School there, right? Do you get to still do theater, or is it your schedule like too crazy busy to get to do theater?
I did theater initially. I did 2 big productions straight out of theater school, and then went straight to like a show job afterwards and was washing dishes and that sort of thing. Booked my first TV role, and then things just sort of picked up, and I was doing TV for a while, and I've auditioned for some theater stuff that I've been very interested in, especially because it's a bit more physical. But it's been tough to sort of rule myself out of the projects of TV and film sometimes, because theater they book way ahead.
Oh, yeah.
And then I have questions of, the market that it's going to reach, because I find the voice of TV and film a lot more expansive and present with, people with who are vocal on Twitter and Instagram, whereas theater, the crowd tends to be, I don't get to talk to them afterwards, and they a bit more established people who will go home and, but it's definitely something I miss, and that's also part of why I jumped into Carmilla, because it felt like I was doing theater again. We got 1 take, maybe 2, and it was 1 shot, so it was like doing theater but on film.
Yeah, Carmilla's that's a really interesting series, because you talked a little bit about doing Twitter, and that really uses that multi-platform sort of thing where they really get involved with social media. So you get to actually have that interaction with the fans. Do you like that? Do you go on Twitter and interact with the fans that way?
That's important to me, is the interaction, but there's a certain level of like how far you're going to go with it, because some people might take it a bit too far. But if there's no correlation between the people that the stories are talking to or the characters, it sort of feels empty and weird. If I'm just it just feels for myself in a way. And there is a self-gratification in performing, but then a lot of it too is you want to sort of strike some chord of humanity in people, or just get them. It's art is a reflection of society. It's a comment and things. So people may say that it's just entertainment, it does nothing, but it does create sort of a perspective and insight into what is around us, and some of it may be funny and some of it may be horrific, but they all at the end of the day have something to say about what exists.
Yeah, it was interesting you compared Carmilla to doing theater. Now, for our audience members out there that maybe aren't familiar with Carmilla, first of all, you should go watch it like right now. You're in the 2nd season, but you can watch all of season 1 and season 2 is out now on YouTube, so it's easy to watch. You should go do it because it's super awesome. But for the fans that don't know what it is, why don't you tell them a little bit about how Carmilla works?
Well, Carmilla is a web series. It was just a single shot of a girl in her residence, and she falls in love with a vampire. So it's basically girls and vampires.
Yeah, it's vampires, and it's a vlog. Like it's all, and like I said, you can watch the whole thing on YouTube, and it's super fun. And
based
it's
on some books.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. It's based on books from like the 1800s.
Yeah, they just changed the medium.
Yeah, it's I totally recommend it. Now, I found out about it because of Tumblr, because like you were mentioning was the involvement of the fans, and I found out about it because one of the people I follow writes fan fiction, and so I was like, what are they even talking about? And that's how I got into it.
Yeah.
But it is a really cool, fun show that the involvement of the fans is huge. So then you've also done other things. Like you said, you mentioned you've done movies, The Conjuring, and of course Dark Places that's coming out now. Do you have a favorite genre of movie, like horror, thriller? Also you have Degrassi, which was a completely different genre there. Do you have a favorite genre to work in?
No favorite genre. I mean, right now I've done a couple horrors. I was always a bit more drawn to drama and theater school, but you carry that around with you all day, and it's a heavy space to be in. And sometimes you're like, well, I don't even know if I want to do this audition, because it's just so damn heavy. You just kind of want to do a comedy. I'd love to do a romantic comedy. I'd love to do some action, but as actors we get sort of typecast into things. But yeah, I think I'm fortunate that I've been able to play into all those genres. I just, my work right now is being a bit more on one side for the moment.
You feel like it's more on the drama, doing the heavier, darker
it's a
stuff.
little heavier, which
like
is
Dark
fine,
Places, which is a little dark, and as the title says, it is dark. Dark Places, which is the Gillian Flynn novel, based on the Gillian Flynn novel. She wrote Gone Girl, in case for those who aren't aware. So that's her new movie, and it's also starring a fellow South African, Charlize Theron, which is nice.
Yeah, I'm so excited to
What
see her
drew you
tomorrow.
to that project?
Well, the Charlize Theron was producing it, and the character was I like playing dark stuff, to be honest. Like, I think people I've been pegged as like the sweet Disney boy, who's very wholesome and like got everything together. But this was an edgier character, and I was drawn to that, and just loved playing it because it's not something I get to do in my day-to-day life.
It's a thriller. Like, it's a really suspenseful movie, right? Like, it's a thriller trying to solve the murder from the 80s. And you play one of the characters in the 80s, right?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, so that's fine. Did you get to do any research into the 1980s? Were you barely alive in the 1980s, I assume?
Well, yeah, I did. I did all the research I could, but the book was like my Bible. So there was so much great resources from the book, and Gillian is such an amazing writer that it gives you so much visceral content to sort of chew on. But there's only so much you can communicate on screen because it depends on how they're going to communicate that with the shots, the set, the wardrobe and everything, the storytelling. You're just a tiny piece into that puzzle. But I was very drawn to it because there was a great cast, and I love the nature of the script, and I read the book in 2 days. And watching Gone Girl, I was like, wow, that's totally the same writer as Dark Places. I could just feel that tension watching the movie. So hopefully it speaks to fans the same way.
Is that what drew you to the project, was having seen Gone Girl before, or did you watch Gone Girl after?
To be honest, most of the time, and like an actor in my position, we audition for everything.
Sure. I totally understand that.
I've turned down a lot of stuff, but even when I have turned things down, I didn't really want to.
Right.
And you get to that point where you're like, I just want to act and do stuff. But then you get to a level of like being a businessman and choosing what you want to do and don't want to do. But then you're just not living life, and it's fun. Like, to be honest, we do this stuff for free. We do this all the time, and then it just becomes setting a precedent and what projects you're doing and projecting a certain sort of, etiquette of work, I guess. But I auditioned for it because I thought it was interesting, and held my fingers, didn't think about it too much, and then it pulled through. Because there's so many things, you get so close to final two, you get flown to LA, and you hold your breath, and then you get let down. It's an emotional roller coaster, and you really have to be okay with getting no said to you.
Sure.
And having other interests in your life, and then not putting, you need to invest your soul into it and your emotions, but then you also need to have it not be your everything. Which can be very taxing.
Oh yeah, no kidding. And well, in rejection, that's a big part of being an actor. Is most of the roles you're going to go up for, you're going to get rejected for. It's just, and for reasons that have nothing to do with you.
Yep.
It can be just whatever. It's just something you have to learn. It's hard. A lot of people, that's why they quit. And I don't. If you can't handle it, I totally understand that. Now, for your character in Dark Places, you're actually the young version that's being played by the older version is Jay LaRose, who's also an amazing icon as far as horror movies goes. He has a huge resume. Did you work with him at all on the character, or did you guys watch dailies of each other? Is there anything you guys did to try to, or just count on the director to direct you in the right way?
I wish I did. It's because we're playing the same character. The primary storyline of Trey is in the 80s.
Right.
There's much more of it in my storyline, but they shot him first.
Oh, okay.
So even with the choice of tattoos, they were his. When I came, because they told me to think about my tattoos and where I'd have them and what I'd have, and I got to set and they'd already shot some tattoos on him, so I had to match that. So I'm like, okay, cool. And then I wanted to match his speech pattern. Mm-hmm. So I wanted to see his take, because I'm like, I want to see his demeanor and sort of match that. And I was grown and changed, but and I'm like, what was his accent? Because I had a slight accent on mine as a character choice. But the director didn't want me to see that because he thought it would mess with my head.
Okay.
And directors are like that. A lot of directors don't want you to see your takes. I work really well when I shoot my tapes. I watch it and I see what's reading. Because you may be feeling something that it's not reading on screen, and I like to reshoot it. But a lot of directors don't trust that an actors will get in their head. And I shoot a lot of tapes in my studio, and actors do get in their head when they see themselves. They just.
Absolutely.
But for me personally, I like it. But anyway, they wouldn't let me see the tape, so I just had to, go with what was there and
rely on the director to direct you in the right way.
Yeah, hope that it would match and just trust. Because there's a level of you wanting to self-direct and be in control, but at the end of the day, it's like you're not the one. You're a piece that's telling the story, but the voice and mind that's driving it is the director. So you just have to trust where he's going, or she.
Right, absolutely. Now you just mentioned a little while ago that you being an actor and getting used to rejection, you do have to have other hobbies, and I know you like martial arts, but also singing. And I don't know if anybody knows this, but he was nominated for a Canadian Screen Award for Best Original Song.
Yeah,
so you do sing.
I sing. I was surprised. I was like, wow, great. I sang all through primary school, high school. I was in the choir. I was the head of the choir in high school, and I was known as like the choir boy. I had braces, glasses, a little party. I was just a typical cultural, geek in a way. I stopped sort of singing after high school and was focusing on acting. And then the role came around and happened to sing in it. They never tested my singing. They're like, wow, that was a pleasure. You can actually sing for this role.
Just do it.
The character was a guy who had his own indie band. And then I actually had to put something on tape and sing it. We recorded it over like 3 takes, I think. And I was like, let me go again. I want to go again. I was just getting into it. He's like, no. I was told deliberately not to do more than these amount of takes because we want it to sound messy. We don't want it to sound perfect. I'm like, but yeah, if I was this guy, I would. So I was learning the chords like overnight, just going as many times as I could and learning the song. But it worked out, and then the nomination came by, and I was.
Really? Are you going to sing in any future stuff? Are you looking for singing roles?
I'd love to,
Right?
I'd love to. It's not something I've looked for, but, I definitely would love to do musicals.
And then you also do martial arts. What kind of martial arts do you do?
I did a lot of karate as a boy. Then I stopped that for a while, and then I was doing some Krav Maga briefly, and then I did some Southern Shaolin very briefly, and then I've been focusing more on, I do kickboxing and jiu-jitsu 4 days a week. I just started some Wing Chun. That I do 4 days a week too now, so
that's great.
I'm no like master or anything, but it's great to sort of try.
Do you ever do your own stunts?
I have tried because I did some. There was some fight scenes I did in a show, and I'm fighting this guy, and there's I did like a kip up thing, but they didn't want me to do it, and they kept getting the stunt guy to do it. I'm like, I can do that. I can do it better than him. Look at mine. It's better than his. Why wouldn't you let me do it? And I was getting so pissed off. And I realized after the fact that there's a special stunt grade, so that you can't actually. They weren't saying.
They want to protect you and make sure nothing happens to you. Like they do have to keep you in one piece. For the rest of the shoot.
But I'd like to do it later in life. I'd love to because there's a class in Toronto. Alan Kang has something called the Gym, and there's a lot of acrobats and dancers who learn to do like tumbling and backflips and stuff. So I'm working towards learning some tricks and maybe some parkour. Like Stephen Amell is from Arrow. He's always doing crazy things. So it'd be fun.
Yeah, it would. So what's next for you? What's the next big project? Do we have anything on the table?
There's a big role. I don't know if I can't actually say yet, but it's like a great icon that I would be very honored to play, and I'm in the final batch,
That's
like 3 or 4. There's some people overseas that they're looking at, so we're on the brink of getting a screen test.
Oh, good.
But we'll see if that goes through, and then I have a Christmas Horror Story starring William Shatner that's coming out at the end of the year.
That's awesome. That's like our fanboys out there would love that. Anything with William Shatner.
Yeah, he's hilarious, and he really owned this role. I was very impressed. Really funny, and I'm excited to see what people think of that one. And there's the Krampus monster you'll see on my Instagram. Looks like he's like one of the coolest demons I've seen. So
that'll be exciting.
That's coming out, the Dark Faces, and we'll just
see what comes next.
Take it day by day,
That's great. Okay, well, it was really great talking to you.
Thank you,
And do you want to say your Twitter handle? Have people follow you on Twitter?
Sure. Hey guys, thanks for checking us out. I'm at Shannon Kook, NNON, KOOK, both Instagram, Facebook, and and Twitter.
Yeah, so follow him so you can find out if he gets that major role that we all have our fingers crossed for him. And you can find me at Michelle Coyle. And it was really great talking to you guys today. Great being here with Shannon. And we'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Thanks, bye.